it ain't no friend to me.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you a little midday motivation on this beautiful Saturday morning, afternoon, however you want to classify it. It has been a doozy of a week for most of us as we continue to watch the festivities that's going on in our world today. And so for a brief moment, I want to pop in and continue our message from Monday. Hey, what's up, Shamika? Thank you for joining us, sis. Hey, if you would, all my replayers, I am about to share this to all my social media outlets. So if you all would, I love seeing who the hungry are out there. I see Shamika's already said, what's up? If you're out there, holler at your boy. I believe that there's a special place for the hungry out there. So if you're out there, please holler at me. Hey, Elkie, thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I'm going to pop on and just share a couple of thoughts. I had a nice point going on my Motivational Monday that I did not finish. And so I wanted to pop on today and just finish that. But this world has, it's been an interesting week, and I want to talk about that a little bit as well. But if you would, give me a second and allow me to share this to my platform. And if you all will, please share this, type names at the bottom of it, invite people for me too, please, because you never can tell where people are, what they're going through. This word might be the bridge from where they are now to where they want to be. Hey, Mom, thank you for joining us. So please share this out if you would. Be a part of the solution and not just part of the problem. Everybody this week are just talking about what's going on at the Capitol and all those things, in which I agree this conversation should be had. But on the other end, I do believe that we have to have some change agents out there, or some people who are willing to stand up for truth, or some people who realize their lot in life and how they particularly change this world themselves. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today as I complete my thought from my Motivational Monday. Last place, you all, and then we will be ready to go. All right, what's up out there, Facebook? What's up out there, YouTube and Periscope? I see we have a few Periscope people in the house today. So I don't plan on being on here long today, but I did want to pop on and finish this Motivational Monday. And don't worry, I'm going to tie it and wrap it all into the events of this week. This previous Monday, we started talking about owning your outcomes. We talked about owning your outcomes. And if there is no other reason that's obvious and evident right now that this is a moment in time where you want to own your outcomes. We saw the events of the week. We saw that Americans literally attacked the Capitol, like rioted the capital of the United States of America. And this is why I've told you all this all last year, that we're in this world, but we're not of this world, that we have to take on a different persona. Yes, it's unfortunate that that happened, but that's going to mainly affect the people in this world. I'm going to break bread in a minute. I'm not of this world. When the Black Lives Matters had the same movement, they called them thugs, riders, and all these other things. But now that somebody else went in and attacked the Capitol, they're called patriots. And I'm telling you, that's why you can never put your trust. I got to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Tanya, thank you for joining us. I got to say this. I'm your boy. I'm going to give you my perspective. My perspective is an N of one. Take it for what it's worth. But that's why I've always told you, even back with George Floyd, that oh my God, I got to do it. You were never created to matriculate through this world system. You were never meant to be a part of this world system. You came from another place. I got to tell you, before the foundation of the earth, he knew you. You had already been created unto good works. You're in this world, but you're not of this world. As you see those events unfold, you should know that your kingdom is of another place where people cannot attack you. This justice system for people that look like us is not necessarily made for black and brown people to be faithful and to be true. I'm going to break bread. I'm going to break bread. It is what it is. And that's why I've always said, don't place your confidence in this world and in this world system, because the same people that were attacking that Capitol was the same people that's supposed to be representing you in the United States House of Representatives. These were the same people that sold you your insurance policy. These were your neighbors that lived down the street, down the road, across the street. These were people that we interact. Those were teachers in schools. Those are people that held secular jobs out here in this world that may have had the ability to hire people, which means they were not going to look at people like that's different than them or see the world through a different lens of them. They're not going to hire them. And that's why I was trying to share with you all, even before all this took place, even before the coronavirus. Hey, Auntie, thank you for joining us. That you got to start building your kingdom. You got to start building your equity, or building from not in this world, but from of this world. I don't build. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I said these things that we see are subject to change, because I am in, but I'm not of. What they do don't affect how I move and how I matriculate, and it doesn't affect my faith or what I believe about me and God's kingdom that He's built on the inside of me. What's up, Laniqua? It doesn't change. I know it's unfortunate. Check this out. It's unfortunate. I scroll up and down Facebook where people were crying, and then people were talking about how bad it is. I'm gonna break bread, and I know some people gonna say that I'm not. What's the word? I'm not emotional, or I'm not. I didn't shed one tear about what happened at that Capitol. I didn't shed one tear. I honestly, I didn't put one post on Facebook about it, because what if man, I gotta do this, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta do this. If you come up outside of the kingdom, God's way of doing things and being right, the end is destruction. The end is destruction. No matter how much money you accumulate, if you get it through any other ways than of this world controls your success. It controls your success. I'm not going to cry a tear. I'm not going to sit up there and whine and complain and woe is me. Oh, I thought everybody, a person separated from the great I am and doesn't have an awakened I am, it is capable of doing anything. So I'm not going to sit there and do what they did. Oh, I hate to sound selfish, but I told you, you could be selfish. Hey, Virginia. Hey, I told you, hey, Laura, I told you can be selfish when it comes to your own self-development and when it comes to your own self-care. I got to be honest. What they did has no bearing on what the great I am is strengthening through my awakened I am. John the Baptist fulfilled everything that he was supposed to do outside of their system. They thought he was supposed to come up with the Sadducees and the Pharisees. John the Baptist did everything he did outside of the system. And when his moment came, I love the scripture. It says Jesus found him. Like this world system, ladies and gentlemen, it's been corrupt since the foundation, since the finding of America. Ever since Christopher Columbus found it, Christopher Columbus didn't find America. America was already here, and the Indians were settled on it. You can't find it wasn't lost, so therefore it can't be found. If the foundation be false, come on, ladies and gentlemen. If the foundation be false, then the whole structure is faulty. Now I gotta break bread today. I gotta break bread, and I'm talking about owning your outcomes. I'm owning your outcomes. I was scrolling, I was looking at some blogs and all that stuff now, and I was reading about how when people saw what happened, how many of them they wept, and I was reading about how they couldn't believe that this could happen in this country. Why not? Why not? Anything, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Anything that is absent from the creator, anything that is absent and is not being strengthened by the great I am is faulty anyway. I gotta break bread. It's faulty anyway. When we get to this place, and this, and trust me, I'm gonna tie this back into owning your own outcomes. I'm gonna get back into it. When we get to the place where a man can take a knee and he can say, "I want to protest," a silent, peaceful protest. I want to get on one knee during the national anthem. I want to do a silent protest. That's all he said I wanted to do was a silent protest. And the guy was fired and condemned from his previous occupation. He was blackballed from the NFL for wanting to do one thing peacefully because a soldier told him to do that. Like, don't sit down, take one knee, and that's respectful. That's a respectful way to protest. And that guy was told that your service is no longer needed in the NFL. They blackballed him, never brought him back. But you have people that can storm the Capitol, many of them, and still be employed. I've only heard of 50 arrests. But let that have been multiple people taking knees, and during the football season, you will see multiple people blackballed and kicked out of the NFL. And you can see that the trend of that already. So my question to you is, why do you put your faith in a system that is unfair and unjust from the foundation? I just broke bread. Why do you put your confidence in a job? I gotta do it anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm going off anyway. Why put your confidence in a job or in a person over a job when you're connected to the great I am? My confidence doesn't come from this world system. My confidence comes from first seek ye the kingdom and all of its righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. My confidence doesn't come from Washington. My confidence doesn't come from Atlanta. My confidence don't come from John Ossoff and Reverend Warner and Reverend Warnock being elected to the Senate. My confidence doesn't come from that. My confidence comes from I'm seeking the kingdom. If I seek the kingdom, doesn't matter what's going on around me. When I'm seeking the kingdom, it's more about what's going on in me. I just broke bread. Boy, I just broke bread. I love it. He said that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, if you can believe, all things are possible. Your belief system is not contingent upon who's in the White House. Your belief system is not contingent about who has power of the Senate. Your belief system is not contingent upon how people react out here in this world to an election. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, your manifestation is not connected to anything that went on this week. I'm breaking bread. And the more of our mental energy and the more of our space that it occupies in our mind, we're losing where we should be winning. I have to own my outcomes. I got to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am breaking bread right now. My outcomes is not connected to the Democrats. My outcome is not connected to the Republicans. My outcomes are not connected to the House of Representatives. My outcome are not connected to the Senate. It's not connected to Mitch McConnell. It's not connected to Nancy Pelosi. My outcomes rest between the great I am and my awakened I am. I am so in love with God. I'm so happy with the King of Kings that he hid my gifting. He hid the kingdom in a place where nobody external could affect my outcome. Boy, I just broke bread. That nobody external. I don't care if they. Boy, okay, let me change that. Boy, I'm about to go into a whole nother discourse. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. In the building process, come on, Vanico, hit me with it. Build, baby, build. In this building process, I don't have energy to expand in areas where it does not bring me fruit. If it does not produce me fruit, why am I spending so much mental energy in a place where it yields me nothing but gossip and being the average people love reporting the news. Boy, I just broke bread. Average people love reporting the news. People like Jeff Bezos, people like Anthony Williams, people like you all. We are people that we look at the news. And Jeff Bezos said, I realized that the internet was growing, internet's usage was growing over 2,300% per year. And he said, how can I get in that market? He took the news and then report what was going on. He used that information to be able to discover his gift because it's going at 2,300, growing at 2,300% per year. How can I get a business that capitalizes on how it's growing? Intelligent people don't report the news. They don't repeat back what's being said. Average people love reporting the news. Now it's time for us to 10x our lives. And in order for me to 10x my life, in order for me to keep chopping wood and carry water, I got to keep my mind. I got to keep my mind occupied on information that edifies me, that edifies my marriage, that edifies my children, that edifies my life. Who went up in that Capitol and what they did in that Capitol, who desk they sat in at that Capitol does not affect my life. Well, and boy, I'm gonna break bread. And black people, which I am black, and black people tend to look at the world through the lenses of which we came up. And we know how to make everything about race, and we know how to make everything about the pain of the past, and we know how to correlate it to what came up. And I'm saying, let's change the lens we're looking out of it and say, man, people called us we're not barbaric. Look, other people doing the same things we did in the past. So now let's change the lens that we're looking from and say, man, there's greatness on the inside of me. Come on now. There's greatness on the inside of me. Yep, people are doing all they forget what they did then, but what they did then is try to stop you from your now. And if you allow your mind to rest on what they did, then you can never maximize your now. You got to live future forward. We got to allow the great I am to strengthen our I am. Stop looking from the lens of our past and start looking from the lens of our greatness. I'm telling you, information goes through my lens, goes through my mind through a whole different lens that sees me, that all things work together for my good. I told y'all it's working in 2021. I don't care what it looks like. They went up there and tore the Capitol up. I don't know how it's working for my good, but it's working. It's working. It's working. He that believes all things are possible. He that believes all things are possible. It's working for my good. Boy, I'm breaking bread up in here this morning. It is working for my good. I came on Monday and I talked about and go and find another business venture that it won't hurt it. I'm telling you, all these things work together for our good. Come on, Elkie, say that. Virginia, he thought I was worth saving. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And what goes on outside of us doesn't change the fact that we've been saved. It doesn't change the fact that listen, man, I got to get into my stuff. But you've been placed here for a time such as this. Don't think the Capitol storming caught whatever the riots up there in Washington caught God off guard. Oh man, I didn't know people had it in them to do that. Why not? Cain slew Abel, and they grew up in the same house. They came from the same womb, and I can't believe people did that. Why not? Men's hearts are evil. If you're not, how can works be good if you're not connected to the great I am? I don't care if you do good works, but if you're not connected to the great I am, even those good works can't live. They're not living for you. They don't speak for you. And there are many of us out there that's looking at me right now. We do good works. We do good works, but away from being connected to the great I am, our works fall. I'm breaking bread. That's why you need an example. That's why people can have a lot of money and have a bad relationship with their spouse, or they can have no money and have a good relationship with their spouse that cause a bad relationship with their spouse. I'm telling you right now that it's none of the external issues that leads to our external issues. It's all internal. Like none of that stuff really affects us externally. It's all how we internalize it. I just broke bread. It's my internalization of the external that determines my external. I'm gonna break bread in a minute. You're gonna see where I'm going with that. Patricia, working for the good of them that love the Lord. Yep. All things are working for my good, even things I cannot see, even the mistakes that I made. They're working for my good because those things that they meant to harm me, God turned it around and made it for my good. All things. I talked about owning responsibility for our life and how just is it to be right here tonight, to this morning, that I talked about this Monday, that we have to own our outcomes. We have to own our outcomes. This world would do everything. You do have opposition. I got to tell you this, and this is what most motivational teachers or speakers, they won't tell you this. You have opposition. This world is your opposition. I'm going to be honest. Your neighbor is your opposition. Your friends are your opposition because they're feeding you information that makes you dumber. I got to break bread. They're feeding you any information that doesn't edify you or build you up is making you dumber. And we are around 97.7% of the people are average around here. I'm telling you, they're average. And this world is working against you to manifest your greatness. I guarantee you, take an inventory of your conversations through the day. Come on, Elkie, I'm going to do it. It's positive and it's true. And some people, I told you, this year is all about your humanity. And some people don't like this kind of talk because it means that I have to take responsibility for what I internalize. Because right now I'm sitting in the reality of my internalization. What I see on the inside, what I see externally is what's going on internally. And we sit there and we internalize all that stuff that's going on at the Capitol. And we sit there and we say this, and we start thinking new thoughts. And these thoughts affect your manifestation, ladies and gentlemen. It does. It really does. You have to own your outcomes. On Monday night, nope, God doesn't expect for me to be perfect. Nope. And I, Virginia, you bring up a good point. God doesn't expect for us to be perfect. And that's why I believe that he said all things work together for our good. We expect good things to work together for our good. We expect for good things to work together for our good. It's the things that go, I don't get the business loan, or I had a business go bankrupt, or I had a divorce. Those are the things that he had to reaffirm in our life, that even those things work together for our good. That's what he means by all. And the moment we start believing, either we believe that or we don't, because that determines what I do. I just broke bread. That's why it says faith without works are dead, because if I believe, I move forward and I don't internalize the pain of that divorce, or I don't internalize the feeling of not having enough at the end of the month. The moment I start internalizing, like, oh man, my lot of life going, the moment I internalize my present condition is the moment I make it more true than the word of God in my life. As long as it's external and I don't internalize it, it's subject to change. The moment the external becomes internalized, life becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can't outperform that thought of it that you've internalized, because now it's living from the inside out. And you no longer have to have an external enemy. Your enemy now is internal. All you got to do is beat that thought, and you could change your life externally. I know that's a lot of internal, external. I know that was a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, if you can grasp that thought, I'm telling you right now, this world does not dictate my outcomes. I'm telling you right now, economic recession, it does not determine my outcomes. National pandemic, it does not determine my outcomes. I'm telling you right now, my job is laying off. It does not determine my outcomes. The doctor said I had cancer. It does not determine my outcomes. Oh, I tested positive for COVID-19. It does not determine my outcomes. It's what I believe in here that determines my outcome. Now, the moment that doctor says cancer, you have cancer, and you internalize it in that moment, then you start building cancer from the inside out. The moment, now I'm not saying don't take the medicine, don't do the chemo. I'm not saying doing any of that, because God works with modern medicine, because he gave people the right thought ideas in order to be able to do some of the stuff they're doing. So I'm not saying don't do that. But the moment I change, and when my words start being, I'm not here, oh man, it's just so bad today, oh man, I ain't gonna never get out of this. Then at that moment in time, now your life becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As long as you say, man, I'm going to beat this. This can't see me. Cancer be going away from my body. You're healing your own self from the inside out. Because I'm telling you, these 6 inches control your life, ladies and gentlemen. It controls your life. You got to own your outcomes. I'm not giving any man power over my life. I'm not giving any woman, a homo sapien, male, female alike, any power over my life. I love the fact that if you look at people like Martin Luther King, he inspired people based on a vision of the future that he saw. That he said, I don't accept life as it is. I have a dream. Oh my goodness. I have a dream that one day I see little black boys and little white girls playing together. I don't accept reality as it is. I speak forth what I see. He was telling you what was Martin Luther King saw today before it ever came into fruition. I'm telling you right now, man, thank you, the great I am. Thank you, God. That's an awesome example about that. That's a natural example. I had no idea we was going to go here today. That's a natural example of how the internal changes the external in the time of civil unrest, in the time of when the Birmingham bombing, the time when Martin Luther King was been thrown in jail back and forth every other time, the time where Hoover they were bugging all of his stuff, and during that same moment in time where the United States government was trying to convict him of conspiracy, all the same time where people were looking at him as a controversial figure, he stood up and said, "I have a dream. Not that the world remains as it is, but I see a new America." Ladies and gentlemen, what we see now, Martin Luther King saw in the 60s. I just broke bread. Maybe physically he didn't see it in the natural, but he sure had it on the inside of him. And we're all fruit from the vision that he had, the dream that he had, even in the 60s. I mean, he had so much insight that he said that he had knowledge of his own death. He said, "It doesn't matter to me right now if I make it on the other side with you." He was saying, right now, my body, poor about to break bread. My physical body might not make it, but trust me, I've already seen it. Boy, I'm breaking bread. For Moses to take off and go to a promised land that he didn't know of, that physically he didn't see it externally, but internally he knew exactly where it was. That's why he met every obstacle with faith and belief. Because ladies and gentlemen, until you see it on the inside, you'll never be able to own the outcome on the outside. The moment when I see it on the inside, it's the moment where I'm willing to overcome whatever obstacle that may get in my way in order for me to attain what I see internally. See, the moment with some of us, is that we want it physically on the outside, but we're not waking up and owning the outcome before I have the outcome. You have to own the outcome internally before you see the outcome externally. And it requires daily motivation, meditation. It requires a spirit of gratitude. It requires me living in my mind this dream over and over and over again before I can actually see it on the outside. I remember when we bought this house, and my wife had this idea of what furniture she wanted. And so I said, "Hey, let's go." She went online, she printed all the furniture, blah, blah, did all that stuff. And it was like this, I'm not a furniture guy. I have no idea. And she printed it off. And it's took us some time to be able to get the funds to be able to acquire that furniture. And so we went to the furniture store that sold the furniture, and they said they had discontinued it. Now, this furniture has been on our refrigerator 2 years. We've been looking at it. We've been walking by. We've been confessing. And we had lawn chairs in the room until we were able to acquire, because I don't believe on buying furniture on credit. I'm not paying interest on furniture. By the time we pay the furniture off, it will be time for new furniture. I'm not paying interest for furniture. So we had lawn chairs in our main living room until we were able. And so we went to the store, and they said we no longer, they have discontinued selling this furniture. And it was funny. We looked at each other, and my wife said, "Go back and check again." And so we went to the store in Atlanta, and then we went to the store in Macon, and we went to the next store, and the other store said, "We don't have it, but I found one. I found one." And see, that's the challenge with most of us. Can you walk by it for 3 years and not physically see it? And not physically see it, but walk by and spiritually and on the inside, you see it every day in your living room. And when they tell you, because I did it for 3 years, because I've had to go so hard and so long, and you tell me you can't find, go back and check again. You got one. And that's how that's how our belief system has to match. Now, that's a natural example about furniture, but it's the same way about our life and about our gifts and about our blessings. It's the same way. I got to be able to walk by it every day, but still coexist sitting in lawn chairs and not get upset and not be disrupted and not allow my faith to be tainted as I sit in lawn chairs for 3 years, knowing that big, beautiful set that's on the refrigerator is on its way to me day one when I sit in the lawn chair, knowing that it's on its way to me. And I got to sit there in that lawn chair and keep confessing and keep believing and not get weary in my well-doing, have discipline mixed with what Vaniqua said, consistency, and I will eventually attract that. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you a natural example about furniture and about the faith that it takes to attract a living room suit. Back in the day, that's what we called them, a living room suit. But how much more engaged must you be in your own life in order to attract the resources that you will require to maximize your gifts and your talents? It took us 3 years to manifest what they said they had stopped making, but they found one. And that one, and that one, glory to the Most High, is an example of if you are consistent and you are persistent, even their own system sometimes might try to tell them they ain't got it, but you got to keep going to the next store. You got to keep looking to the next store. That it ain't gonna just come to you osmosively. It ain't gonna just come to you so easy. It ain't gonna just come to you because you want it, but you gonna have to be willing to wage war on mediocrity in order to attract it to you. Stop wishing it was easier and start wishing that you were better. Start wishing that you got to the place in your life where, oh, my journey is just so tough. Stop talking about the journey and start talking about how you're more than capable of attaining it from that journey. I'm breaking bread right now. Ain't nowhere where I wanted to be, but we are breaking bread. Stop wishing. Stop hoping. Stop wishing and just stop hoping. And now you start believing. Take wish and hope out of your vocabulary and add believe. That word believe is so powerful. If it don't, to him that believe, all things are possible. Now, I gave you a natural example about furniture. I know, and that's not that big of a thing over the scheme of this world and over the scheme of this life. And that's not, but I know that's furniture. But if I can't trust you with furniture, how can I trust you with the true riches? If I can't trust you with what's natural, how can I trust you with what the supernatural? If I can't trust you with a $40,000 job, how can I trust you with a $400,000 job that you would direct the resources in the way they should go? I know, Aunt, you're talking about furniture, but if I can't trust you with 45 years, why should I be able to trust you with 65 years? Huh? I know. I told you we working on your humanity. This stuff gonna make your inside sometimes scream, but it's gonna help us to understand that I am my own solution. Thank you, Auntie. I am my own solution. I look to the United States government for nothing. I look to Trump for nothing. I look to Biden for nothing. I look to the left or to the right for nothing. He hid it the only place he knew that I could get it, which is in me. I just broke bread. Manifest you. Boy, that's awesome. Manifest. I talked about a chair. I talked about a sofa. I talked about a living room suit. And I talked about it took 3 years to manifest wood and cotton and the kind of stuff that make that. It took us 3 years to manifest it. How long do you think it's going to take to manifest a great marriage? How long does it take to manifest prosperity in your body? How long do you think it's going to take to manifest your gift? It's going to take you a lifetime. Don't get weary in well doing right now, because it took 3 years to manifest wood and cloth. It's going to take you a lifetime to manifest the things that matter in your life. It's going to take you a lifetime to manifest your gifting. It's going to take you a lifetime to manifest the marriage that you want. It's going to take you a lifetime to have a healthy body. So don't get discouraged on where you are right now. You got more time to build, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about right now. Build, baby, build. Cast your confidence on the great I am that is strengthening your I am, and that gives you the ability to own your own outcomes. If you can see it, now I'm not talking about this world see. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Virginia. If you break it, you have to own it. Come on, you got to own it. It's not about them. It's all about who lives inside of us. The great I am. Yep, Elke, you just said it. You just said it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to put this in a way that's plain. Like what we see, do you imagine? I remember my mom can back me up on this story when I was in the 8th grade, and everybody was having these, $120, $130 shoes. And I had my mom and my grandmother who took me to the mall, and it was Coach Ogle, mom, if in case you don't remember the story. And we were in Hibbett's, and I walked by Hibbett's, and we saw this pair of shoes. I still see the picture in my mind. I had the gray straps going over these shoes, and I threw a hissy fit because we could not afford those shoes. I cried, I complained, and my grandmother, my mother, somehow strapped up enough money to be able to get me those shoes. At that moment in my time, I thought the shoes mattered, and it determined how well I play. And they made those shoes happen. However, those shoes were just window dressings. Those shoes, like, and we get to the point where we believe we got to have certain things to manifest us, to manifest me in this earth, to live the highest version of my life in this earth. We get to where we believe that I gotta have a social media platform of 500,000 people. We get to the point where we believe we gotta have, I gotta have a platform to where, Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry are forwarding out my information. We get to the place where we gotta have a platform, or I gotta have a restaurant that's endorsed, or a daycare that's endorsed by somebody else. We still get to the point where we believe that I got to look like everybody else. And those $120 shoes in the 9th grade. And now I look back at the sacrifice they made for my window dressings. That's all it is. Yeah, they didn't define me. At the moment, I thought life hung on that pair of shoes. And because I thought I had to have what everybody else had, and not really understanding that what I have on externally is not what makes me special. It's what I have internally that makes me special. See, this world has taught us and has told us that it's what's on the outside that makes us special. I'm telling you, it's not what's on the outside. It's not those $120 shoes that makes you special. It's the great I am strengthening your I am that makes you special. But people that have not, boy, I gotta break bread. I gotta break bread. But people who are surface people, who are lukewarm people, they don't understand that we gotta build it from the inside out. I'm not, and it's so funny. Like I looked the other day. Do you know, like, we still do the same thing where we put stuff on the refrigerator, but do you know we don't have like not one material object on the refrigerator? Back in 2011 and 12, it was all about things. We wanted this furniture, we wanted this car, we wanted this for the kid, we wanted that. And it was all physical things. And now if you walk by, you see nothing that's physical. It's all about health and blessings and resources that it takes to accomplish what we need to do in this life. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to change our viewpoint from where we believe the window dressings, that as I walked through and I looked at Hibbett from the outside in, and I saw those shoes and they had them in the window as part of the dressing to attract you. And a lot of us are still just like that 9th grade kid, like Anthony. We'll walk by places and we only want what was fashionable at this moment in time. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. And I'm challenging you to believe that if everybody is doing it, maybe I should not be doing it. That if it's popular in this world, then guess what? It's not popular in the kingdom, because I got to break bread that if everybody's doing it, if everybody's going the same direction, it's probably going to be average. But we got to take this moment in time, and we have to really, in the state of this world, and say, you know what? I'm not looking to the IRS for a big refund in order for me to build wealth. You know what? I'm not looking to the Biden administration to build wealth for me. You know what? I know Trump appointed these conservative judges. I'm not looking to the judicial system to bring my wealth to me. I'm not looking for the judicial system in order to awaken my I am. I'm not looking to well, you know, the Biden administration is gonna now bring back regulation. I'm not looking to the pipelines for my awaken I am. I'm not looking to, well, you know, with the coronavirus. You know, my wife even teaches like her classes. The enrollment is down. Like right now, and the college is down. I'm not looking to the college for my prosperity and my wealth. I'm not, ladies and gentlemen, this world has changed. You can no longer depend on what you thought you could. And believe you me, God knew it before this moment in time. And I'm telling you to take time and to take time, acknowledge the great I am, and allow him to direct your path. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. It's time out. Our knowledge and understanding has gotten us here, but now it's time for us not to lean to our own understanding. My understanding got me to this place, and trust me, I'm so thankful. Like I said, we sat in those lawn chairs 3 years, and we talked about the coming of that wood furniture. We talked about, ooh, what is going, I'm gonna put that piece here, I'm gonna put that piece here, and it took us 3 years to manifest it. My question to you is, what are you looking to? What are you looking to? Come on, I thank you, Elkie. Thank you, Elkie. What are you looking to? The great I am is strengthening your I am. Own. It ain't about God, do this for me. Own your outcomes. It's not God, do this for me. It's God, do this through me. It's according to the power and the purpose that works in you. Don't do it for me. God, will you please do this for me? No. God, you made me with too much ingenuity. God, I don't need you to do it for me. Do it through me. Boy, I just broke bread. If nobody got anything else right there, thank you, Elkie. I just broke bread. Thank you, Mom. I just broke bread. Do it through. Don't do it for me. Do it through me. But in order to do it through you, you have to be a yielded vessel. Boy, I just broke bread. You have to be a person just like Martin Luther King, that I'm not looking at the external and driving my decisions based on what I see. I'm living from my internal to change what I see. Martin Luther King was a great example of that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the same for your life right now. I know right now out there it can be discouraging. I know out there right now it looks like as a country, we're in a bad place. But I came to bring you cheer and I came to bring you hope. The great I am is strengthening your I am, and trust me, it is not the kingdom is not affected by what goes on out here in this world. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to stay in joy. I want you to stay in love. I want you to stay in peace. And I want you to continue to meditate on what is good and what is profitable for you and your household. And as you begin to do those things, ladies and gentlemen, your world, you will see that all this, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. All you will see is that in moment like these are the time that God used for the transference of the wealth. So get your hands, get your pockets ready, get your relationship ready. All the things that you want to see change, meditate and focus on what edifies you. And I'm telling you, this is the season where the wealth transference is taking place. And spend time with your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, because I'm going to continue to bring this awakened I am conversation. There's nothing too hard for God, and there's nothing too hard for the great I am to do through an awakened I am. All things are possible to you all. I want y'all to stay encouraged, stay blessed. And until next time, please, if you have not, go find me on YouTube at Williams Inspires. If you have not YouTube, find me on Facebook at Williams Inspires. If you have not, find me on Twitter at Waging War 32. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, we about to tear all these platforms up, and we about to edify and build up from the foundation already up so we can have a nice, stable, erect building. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for spending time with me on this Saturday. I know we got into some deep stuff. I'm going to go back and listen to this at least 3 or 4 times. if you would, #2, #3, #4, every time you listen to it, and add a new thought, and add a word on there of what you got this time, and allow the great I am to speak through those words. As you begin to write those words down and you begin to put those statements down, you start creating new thoughts. You start creating new connections in your own mind. In order to create new connections, new thoughts, in order to change your heart, change your mind, you got to start thinking differently. And what you do when you put it down there, you start thinking differently. So let's continue that. Let's continue that. And until next time, I am challenging you all to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out of here.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.